All right, so just you should be getting your sketches in, and in the sketch, what I really would like to do is to see what your silhouette is going to look like and what words you may be incorporating into your um, image. So I haven't shown you any examples of what I'm thinking about for words. So I'm trying to work on one right now, getting the silhouette done, um, and get those words in there so you can see a finished product, because I'm not finding any examples out there on the web. So remember, your words are supposed to be something that might influence you, like music, or musical lyrics, or a poem, or maybe words of encouragement for someone, or maybe words of encouragement for yourself. So, it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be very simple. I'm going to show you an example of somebody who got one done already. So, and she used simply one word, but I will show that to you. So first, let me do a screen share, and I'm going to show you what I showed you originally about the silhouettes. So right now we're just talking about the backgrounds. Where are we? So just the washes in the background. So we're not really concerning right now about what you're going to put in front of those. That's what I should see in your sketches. What is the image of your silhouette going to be? Remember, it's only about shape. It's not about any kind of detail. So we have all this to look at. And this I know is on your recordings from earlier this week. I feel like it's a different week, but it's not. All right, so then I want to show you this real quick of somebody's finished product. That's that up and go here. She emailed it to me because she's going away and I don't have the assignment up, and unfortunately it comes in sideways, but it should give you an idea of very simple painting. There's a lot of wash with purple and yellows behind it for the sky. A simple painting of a bird sitting on a branch, and simply the word fly. So word of encouragement for that bird to fly, or for it to be a metaphor for other people to fly. So I'm going to show you how to get started with the watercolors. I've got paper, the paint on it, but I'm going to paint over that. I've got brushes and water, and I have my watercolors, and then I also have acrylic paints for some of you who don't have watercolors but are working with acrylic paints. So I'm gonna actually save that paper for watercolor. I'm working on newspaper because I'm a sloppy painter. I get paint everywhere. So if you can see ones that I did previously, here's a simple, I'm thinking like sunset, where it's lighter at the bottom and then it gets darker as you move up. The other one that I'm doing is maybe like this, more of a darker nighttime kind of sky than a pretty sunset. But let's start with the sunset one. I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm going to get my brush pretty wet, get my paint wet, and I'm just going to apply some yellow paint here. I work kind of across the paper, so I don't work horizontally, I'm working vertically, so you guys can see. And I'm just laying down that purple. Now I'm going to try to avoid stripes. I don't really like the stripy part of this, so I'm going to carry this yellow pretty far up. And with watercolor, it's good because I have a lot of options of color. So I do have orange and I do have purple. With the acrylic paint, I would have to make those colors. I'd have to mix those colors. So after this, I'm going to come in with a little bit of orange. And I'm going to bring the orange down a little bit into the yellow and spread it around. So when you first hit the paper, it tends to be a little dark, but if you just spread it and use some water, then it won't be, you can control the darkness of it. And then some orange down into that yellow area, and some yellow into the orange. Then I'm going to go to red. So the red could be a little dark, so I'm kind of spreading that around. I don't want it too dark. Maybe a little darker towards the top. And then I'm going to start to add purple. And it's the same. I want the purple to be darker at the top, so I'm going to add a lot of water. I'm going to bring some of it down into the red. You know, it doesn't have to be all perfectly one hue. You can have darker spots, lighter spots. And then I'm going to switch to blue. And I'm going to want it the darkest up at the top. And bring that down into the purple. And then I'm going to work on kind of blending everything together. I don't want streaky lines. And then I may go back down here and bring a little bit of red back into this orange. This is kind of a mixture of red and orange. There we go. And then maybe a mixture of yellow and orange, a little bit lighter orange. Great. So there I have like little sunsets. Covered my entire page with the wash. Sometimes the paper gets a little wrinkly, so it will dry flat. if you put it underneath maybe a book or something. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to acrylic paint, just in case you don't have watercolor. And what I did with the acrylic paint was I have blue and red, and I started to mix some purples because I'm kind of thinking of a darker sky. So I'm mixing those colors. And then I have acrylic paint, black acrylic paint, that's for the silhouette part. So I'm trying to mix up like two different kind of purples. I might add some black in here. Let's make it a little bit darker of a purple. And then what I'm going to do is kind of water down my brush. Let's start with red. And spread it over my paper. So it's just the very same technique as you're using the watercolors. You're just going to use a lot of water and spread your paint across your paper. So you can see my paper's trying to curl up a little bit faster than I did with the watercolors, because I am using a lot of water to water down the acrylic. Because acrylic is not necessarily a transparent paint. It tends to be a little opaque, meaning you can't really see through it. And that's why I'm using the water to kind of make it so I can, it seems a little more transparent. Let's throw some red in here. And then I'm going to move to this darker purple. Pretty dark purple. Oops. And I'm just going to carry that all the way up to the very end here. So I did add a little bit of black into this, blue, water in there. I'm going to bring some more blue down into this area. All right. So this is much darker. It's a little light in here. I think I would continue to work and bring some of this darker purple here. Maybe some more of this blue. but you get the idea. So that in there. So here's my little bit darker of maybe a night sky. And then this is what I started. You can see I've got a little bit curling happening on the edge of my paper. I'm just using regular drawing paper here, but I'm using some black paint to do my silhouette. So then in this image, once I'm done with this, what I'll do is figure out the words that I'm going to put, and then it'll be over in this area, on the right-hand side of my painting. So I'm going to continue working on these. You guys have any questions, just yell. Make sure you're getting all your work submitted. I'm hoping to get these done by Wednesday so we can go into the break without anything hanging over our heads. Okay? All right. So just a little bit of advice. You need to wait till your paper is dry from your initial wash before you start to paint on top of it. Doing all right, Michael? Yeah, it should be dry enough for you to carry home. If not, we can get you like a paper to put it in between. It dries pretty quickly, the watercolors. And do you need anything to take it? Do you need a marker? Do you need a Sharpie for the words? Okay. Okay. Well, let's get that. All right, guys, I'm going to stop recording this for the moment so you can see how mine's developing as far as getting the silhouette done. You want to make sure that this is dry, your wash is dry before you start doing your black painting. And then we'll talk more about the silhouette and adding the words on Monday. So now I'm going to stop recording this. I'm still here.